Today's class we are going to start DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So DHCP means Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a network protocol used for assigning an IP address to network clients dynamically from predefined IP pool. So IP pool is nothing but a collection of IP address ranges. For example, we are having mobiles and you are having the computer desktop or laptops in our home environment. You are taking one Wi-Fi router, you are connecting to the internet, you are accessing the internet. So how do the systems know accessing the internet means automatically your router acts as a DHCP server. So already they set up on DHCP server who given the internet connection to you through router. You can have number of mobiles in our house. Maybe you have 2 laptops or 2 desktops or 5 mobiles. So all these mobiles and laptops and desktops are getting the internet. So you are not given any IP address to your mobiles and your laptops and the desktops. But how they will communicate means automatically there is a DHCP server. So when you connect your internet through your internet provider, whatever it may be, so through wireless router, so automatically it will assign 111 IP address to every system, every mobile. That is nothing but a dynamically assigning the IP addresses. So we are not set up our IP addresses. Automatically we have. You can check on our mobile, you can have the IP address. And also here I am taking one Wi-Fi network. I am also having the DHCP IP address automatically allocated. You can go to command prompt, you can view ipconfig command in Windows. So you can check here IP addressing, IPv4 address I given 192.168.0 automatically came. So these are automatically VMware automatically assigned. Like you can get the IP addresses from DHCP server. Now it is useful for LAN network but not generally used for production servers. So in real times we have a production servers like database servers, application servers, and so many different types of applications you are going to use. You are going to provide the resources to clients. So every time your web server IP address is going to be changed, your clients cannot communicate your server properly. Every time you have to update the IP address. That is the reason the servers should be static IP addresses. So DHCP IP address is only for client operating systems. So DHCP works on the concept of a lease of time, that a given IP address will be valid for a network computer. So while assigning the DHCP IP address to your system, so it creates lease time, 2 days, 3 days, depending upon the operating system, 1 week like that. After that, again automatically it will reactivate your IP address. So it will extend your lease time. So the lease time can vary depending upon how long a user is likely to require the internet connection or a DHCP configuration. So if you shut down the system, automatically IP address will down. When you reboot the system, maybe which IP address is available, it will assign. So daily same IP address will not assign to your system. IP addresses will change. For example, so you are in Hyderabad, you are in the Amirpet area. There is a local ISP provider, automatically your mobile will get one DHCP IP address. So you are traveling across the Panjagutta to some other Dilshugnar or something. So their ISP provider will change. Automatically your network will change. So when your network is changing, automatically it will communicate with the particular network. Then it will change the IP address. Like depending upon how long you are using on the same location or different locations, it will change the IP addresses. So this is the compulsory question they will ask in interview. IP assignment process of DHCP server. how the DHCP server can assign the IP address to client. What is the process they will ask? So the process is called generally DORA process. DORA, DORA. D means discover, O means offer, R means request, ACK means acknowledgement path. So when a client computer starts, if it is configured if it is configured to use DHCP server to get the IP address. For example, by default, when you buy a laptop, when you install Linux or Windows or whatever it may be OS, by default protocol, by default DHCP will going to be select. Until and unless if you assign the IP address, manual IP address to client. I am showing you in Windows. Open networking and sharing center, go to adapter settings, go to Ethernet, properties. So here you can go for the TCP IPv4 protocol. So here I am using the static IP because I am going to teach Linux operating system. I can communicate from my Windows system to Linux systems on which are located on VMware workstation. That is the reason I given static IP address here. But see, by default, the system can select this obtain an IP address automatically. So any operating system default protocol is DHCP until and unless you can give the manual IP address. So here they are telling that is only. So when a client computer starts, if it is configured to use DHCP server to get IP address, client computer send a discover broadcast request to the network. For example, I started my computer in the network. Automatically it will send one message. Is there any DHCP server in the network? So if there is a DHCP server, it receives that message. It sends the request message to the server, client, with an offer of an IP address. So I am the DHCP server. I have this is the IP address I am having. Do you want to accept it? Okay. Then the DHCP client receives the offer message and send a request message to the DHCP server, assign that IP address. Finally, the DHCP server assigns the IP to the client computer and sends acknowledgement pack. Acknowledgement pack means with an IP address, lease period of time, it will send one acknowledgement pack. So this is the process you have to explain in interview point of view. What is the process of DHCP server assigning the IP address to clients means DORA process. What is DORA? They will ask question, discover message, offer message, request message, acknowledgement pack. So this is theoretically you have to read and remember, compulsory question in interview. So what is the protocol of DHCP server? They will ask the question. The DHCP is a connectionless protocol. So static IP address when you give, that is a connection oriented protocol. Connectionless UDP, connection oriented TCP. TCP, transmission control protocol, you can get the acknowledgement. If you ping the system, it will receive the pinging statement and it will send the message to you, I am pinging. But UDP protocol only one way, second way will not come. So that is called connectionless protocol. Acknowledgement will not come to you while pinging the remote systems. But if it is there, you will communicate. So DHCP uses destination UDP. UDP means user datagram protocol. So port number 67 for server, port number 68 for client. So remember DHCP port number 67 for server, 68 for client. So DHCP uses destination UDP port 67 for sending data to the server and UDP port for 68 for the client. So DHCP process is often abbreviated as DORA. Just now we discussed discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. DHCP servers and clients initially communicates via UDP, broadcast on the same subnet. DHCP helper or DHCP relay agent may be used if servers and clients are on different subnet. For example, so we are taking internet connection, we are in the different location. The DHCP server and DHCP server is on different location. So how you are getting IP address means through router. So router is nothing but a DHCP relay agent. This question also they will ask in the interview. what is DHCP relay agent means, if the clients are located on different subnetworks, automatically by using DHCP relay agent, serve the IP addresses to DHCP clients which are on the different subnets. So clients communicate directly via UDP unicast, requesting renewal of an existing lease. So unicast means 1 to 1. Broadcast means 1 to so many. So 1 to 100 systems, it is broadcasting. 1 to 1 system, it is unicasting. So every DHCP client send a unicast message to the server, extend my renewal of the IP address. This is automatically well done on background. So this is the way theoretically we have to remember a small points here. Simply, DHCP automatically assign the IP addresses to clients from a predefined pool. So what is the process? IP assignment process, DORA process. Simply explain. What is the protocol? DHCP used UDP protocol. What are the port number 67 server, 68 client? DORA process already discussed. But some interviewers they will ask the question. So you have configured one DHCP server on Linux, but I have 100 Windows clients and 100 Linux clients. Can DHCP server assign the IP addresses to Windows clients? Yes or no? So Linux server is DHCP, Linux clients are, you can assign the IP address. But I am having Windows clients, they will confuse. I am having Windows clients. Can Linux DHCP server assign the IP address to Windows clients? Is it yes or no? So immediately have to tell yes, it will assign. How it will assign, they will ask the question immediately. DHCP cannot read which operating system the client is using, whether it is Windows or Linux or Solaris or AX or HP Unix. DHCP recognize the NIC card. NIC card means NIC card. NIC card means Network Interface Card. So every NIC card having on media access controller address, that is nothing but a MAC address. That is nothing but a physical address. So we are using the IP address, that is logical. But every NIC unique identification number is there, that is MAC address. It detects the NIC card. If NIC card is properly working, it will send, it will bind the IP address with MAC address. So like that, the DHCP server can assign the IP address, whatever the DHCP server, whether it is Windows DHCP server, Linux DHCP server, Solaris DHCP server, IBM DHCP server, wherever it may be, you configure DHCP server, it will assign the IP addresses to any clients, not depends on operating system. It depends on the media access controller address which are having the network cards. Now we are going to see configuration of DHCP server or on the server. So you can take one client. First we have to discuss about the requirements. See, already I told you every server in interview point of view, same questions repeat. So the package of DHCP server, which is the RPM, what are the port numbers, what is the daemon of DHCP, what is the configuration of DHCP, where the configuration file is located, what is the configuration file name. These are the common questions you have to remember. See, if you practice daily 1 hour or 2 hours, you can remember the commands and syntaxes very properly. If you are having hands-on practical experience, you can easily give the answers on face-to-face interviews or telephonic interviews. If you don't have the practically configuration experience, so by reading the books, by reading the notes, you cannot explain properly. So hands-on practical experience is very important for Linux system administration. From any chapter, any question they will ask you, you have to ready to give the answer. That much of practice is required. So DHCP server configuration, requirements, required RPM, DHCP, Port number 67, 68. Already explained you, 67 for server, 68 for client. Daemon of DHCP. Daemon is nothing but a background process. DHCPD config file dhcpd.conf. Location is /etc/dhcp directory. So required package, port numbers, daemon, configuration file. So it's good. Now go to configuration. First check the package rpm -q dhcp. Package dhcp is not installed. So you can go for m or you can go for rpm. Install the package rpm -ivh. I install v verbose h percentage of display dhcp hyphen version 4.1.1 hyphen 4. Give the tab key, press the tab. Completed. Now so we have the configuration file is there, but by default it is going to be empty file. You have to write your own script. But in Linux they given the sample file of configuration of DHCP. Go to /usr/share/doc. There is a DHCP directory is there. So you can give the command ls, then it shows the DHCP related files. So here you can see dhcp.conf.sample file. You have to copy it. cp/etc dhcp dhcpd.conf. Which file we have to tell? dhcpd.conf.sample file. You are copying as a configuration file. So by default dhcpd.conf is there, but it is empty. But already sample script is there. So you have to copy and edit the script. Just enter. So overwrite, already file is there. It is empty. Just overwrite it. Yes. Now open the file vi/etc/dhcp/dhcpd.conf. So open the configuration file of DHCP server. Now this is the example scripts already given. So what our requirement is there, that lines only we are going to edit. Now escape shift : set space and you set the line numbers first. Now go to line number 32. So this is a very basic declaration of your DNS subnet. On which network we are using? 192 series. Escape I am using 192.168.0. series 0.0 network ID. What is the subnet mask? 255.255.255.0. So what is the range of IP address you want to give? I want to give from 192.168.0.152. How many IP address? Depending upon your network, you can give the IP address in 192.168.0.200. 50 IP address I am giving. So this is the range. If you have the router, give the router IP address here. So outside networks, it will allocate the DHCP IP addresses. So we don't have any router. I am not touching that directive. So this is the declaration we given. Network ID 192.168.0.0, subnet mask 255.255.255.0, range of IP address 152 to 200. Save the file. Service dhcpd start. So if failed, if the output you can get okay, so successfully given a good entry. So if it is come failed, maybe you can done a small mistake in the configuration file, maybe spaces, spelling mistakes. So whatever it may be, you can check the file again. So successfully configured DHCP server. Now service IP tables stop the firewall. Now go to client side. How to get the client's IP address from DHCP server? So by default protocol is DHCP only, but already we are using every system as a server and client. I given static IP addresses, but how to get the DHCP IP address? Now we are going to see. Now right click on the desktop, open terminal. Now go to setup command. Now I given already static IP address, that is 30 is there, but now I am going to assign DHCP IP address setup. You can use the command setup. So select network configuration, select device configuration, select the network card name. So here see use DHCP, select use DHCP by pressing the space bar. Now OK, save and quit the tool. Now service network restart your networking services. Now you are going to get the IP address from the DHCP server, ifconfig. Now see which IP address came, 192.168.0.200. See, Windows operating system will give the IP address ascending order, 150, 151, 152, 153. Linux reverse order, 200, 199, 198, like that 150. Now automatically your system gets the IP address from DHCP server. Now you can check on server side. So here you can check the MAC address, already I discussed. This is permanent media access controller address. So 000C 29 F9 9C 4D. This is unique. So you can remember last two digits 9C 4D. Now go to server side. So it will bind this IP address to this MAC address. So how to check the leases? So go to server side, go to where lib DHCPD directory. Here give the command ls. Here you can have the dhcpd.leases file is there. So check that file, cat dhcpd.leases, enter. Now see here it binded. So like this only, the police department, they will find out the persons from where they accessed internet, whatever some illegal activities will do, they will find out where they are accessing, means this is media access control. So this will bind. See last two 9C4D, this MAC address binded to your IP address. So our mobile also one MAC address automatically bind with whatever the IP coming to me. By using that they will recognize where we are. So immediately this MAC is binding to a particular IP address from which network it is accessing, which is the location, they can easily find out. So it will bind. So our system MAC address, for example, your laptop, you are having NIC card, you are getting the internet, automatically your MAC address will bind on ISP provider. So which MAC address is using which IP address, what is the location, they will easily find out us. Like that, when the DHCP server will assign the IP address to client, automatically the client MAC address it will bind, hardware Ethernet address it will bind. So it will like release time, started time, ending time. So 20 minutes is the time, automatically it will renewal. So in interview point of view, they will ask the question. So some of the important clients, I don't want to change the IP address. I want to get whatever the IP address came first time. So if you restart the system, maybe next time another IP will come. Same IP will not assign every time. So I want to permanent the IP address of a DHCP. How to reserve the IP address? So you have to remember this MAC address. Just to example purpose, I am showing you. Open the configuration file va/etc dhcp dhcpd.conf. Set the line numbers. Now go to line number. See here, fixed IP addresses can also specified for hosts. So here you can write down the host name of the computer which you want to give the fixed IP address. Here you can write down the MAC address. So just now I showed you MAC address that you have to type. I am not typing, but I am telling you. Here you can write down the fixed IP address. So if you have the DNS server, you can write down the system name also. Or if you don't have the DNS server, write down the IP address. 192.168.0.200 I am going to fix. To whom you are fixing, already by, so above the line you are giving the statement. Whatever the MAC address of the system, which system having this MAC address, permanently get the DHCP IP address 200 only. So these two questions. So how to give the declaration, how to see the leases, how to fix the IP address permanently, same IP address from DHCP server. So you have to tell the answer, open the configuration file. You don't tell go to line number 7565. So you have to explain. So you can write the hardware Ethernet address, and we can write a fixed IP address, then it will permanent. Automatically it will assign the same IP address every day. So don't tell set line numbers, go to line number 75. So this is for our understanding purpose we are explaining. But real time, so what you have to explain, you have to explain the syntax. So go to configuration file, write down the host name and MAC address and fixed address. They can understand. So you can have the more knowledge. So that's all. So I am not saving, just putting the same. So like this, you can configure one DHCP server on the Linux environment. You can get the IP address. So Windows also can get the IP address if they are in the network. They can get the IP address from this DHCP server only. Whatever the IP address assigning to the clients, automatically it will bind into your leases file. You can check. If you want to fix the IP address, you can fix. Otherwise, you can leave it automatically. They can get the IP addresses dynamically to the DHCP server. So this is the DHCP server. Simply we can configure on Linux environment. So next class we are going to discuss about Linux Kickstart server. So how to install number of Linux operating systems through network. For example, so we are having so many systems in the network. Maybe the systems are in different locations, not in your premises. Maybe our company having different geographical location branches. So you cannot go for each and every branch. You cannot set up your Linux installation part. So you can configure one system as a Linux start server. Then automatically they will communicate to your network. They will boot from the network card. Automatically OS will be going to be installed. So in Linux we are going to having a kickstart server configuration. In Windows it is calling as a WDS, Windows Deployment Services. In Solaris it is calling as a uh, Solaris Jumpstart server. So next class we are going to discuss how to install Linux operating system through network. So today we are going to complete here. So keep on practice, then you can get the hands-on experience while you are attending the interviews. You can explain properly each and every syntax and commands. Okay, thank you. Next class we are going to discuss about Linux Kickstart server. See here I am changing my address because when I am taking classes, so I can get the static IP address because errors will come. So okay, thank you. Next class we are going to discuss about Linux Kickstart server.